What's up, everyone? So, starting a new project today. And what do you do when you start a new project? You go to YouTube and see everyone else that's already done it so you don't screw it up. So, I'm going to tell you about what I'm doing, and you can go and check it out yourself if you so choose. All right, so I did this down into our study. This product is the Weaber Hardwoods Weatherwall boards. It gives it's a wood accent wall, and it gives you that kind of look, that kind of rustic whitewash look. Now we did do this, like I said, in the study downstairs. It was it was the brown and kind of, you know, they're all kind of offset of brown, and I mean, it looks fantastic. And I'll drop a picture in to kind of let you see what that looked like. But man, these guys do a really good job. It's a great product. They just, I mean, here is the boards themselves. I mean, they kind of have some character to them, right? Yeah, so they look really cool. It's not like whitewash, you know, look on them, and some knots and cracks, and that's what makes it look really neat. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple things that I wanted to know before I got started, and kind of give me a little more confidence getting going. But the main thing you're going to do, the first thing you're going to want to do, depending on the color of board you use, this one's white. So the wall behind me is where this accent wall is going, and I painted it white. You do that because these boards are not completely perfectly square and so forth. So there's going to be times where you can see through the cracks into the wall behind it. And if it's any other color than that, you're really going to pick it up and it's going to look kind of funny. Now, the other product that they have that I put up downstairs, it's the boards are like a dark brown and everything else. So we actually had to paint that wall black. It kind of looks like a shadow, so so it's completely unnoticeable. And I did try to get away with not painting it black at first, and the first time I put the second board up on the ceiling, I realized why you had to do it. You're just going to see it. But as I get going here, I'll kind of pan back and kind of just show you how, you know, you're going to line them up on the ceiling. You're always going to want to go from the top to the bottom. There's a lot of reasons for that. Most off because when you walk in, if it's cantered or whatever, you're going to see it. It's going to be too noticeable. It's a focal point. Now, as you get to the bottom, if a board's slightly shorter over here, you have to cut it in half or something to hit the floorboard. You know, you're going to have furniture up against it. You're not going to notice. So if you screw it up, but you really can't screw it up. As long as you go from top to bottom, you'll be fine. There's some other things, especially when you get around outlets. I definitely found a trick that you should do, and when I get to it, I'll show you. But yeah, you definitely will want to take that tip and run with it. But yeah, this is going to be the nursery. So it's kind of a before and after, or rather the before rather. I kind of played with some colors of the gray, and obviously the cribs in here, and we got some ideas for lighting, and I might actually build some barn doors. We'll see how creative I want to get here. Baby will have a nice little view to his pond out there. So, okay. Well, yeah, I'll check back in and then show you guys the progress and everything else. But here it is, the before, and we'll see you guys later. All right, so I've got about halfway done on the whitewash weatherboard wall, accent wall. It's going pretty well. So there's a few things I just kind of wanted to show you how, when you get going, what you'll need and everything else. So I got my Porter cable air compressor here with a Bradley nailer. The Brad nailers are 18 gauge, 1 1/4. So you want this size. Obviously they don't have to be Porter cable, but you know, whatever. So this is pretty handy. You're going to be pulling these boards up and everything else, so you're not going to have a lot of hands So this kind of gives you the ability to drop this and everything else. There's a few things you're going to need on you at all times during this process. It is a pencil and a level that will just kind of slide in your pocket. And you're going to be using this a lot, every time you put a board up. So let's go ahead and get one put up and show you how it works. All right, so just have your material out, like so. Now when you go ahead and drop these on, what you really want to do is you want to kind of start on one end and then work snake yourself down. You want to do that because you'll have the design will look correct. So you can see I started with one long board over here, long board, and then a smaller cut board here. And then we snake big board, small board, the one that was cut. So you can kind of see this pattern, how it kind of fits on the wall, and it looks really uniform. If you didn't do that and you just went from left to right or vice versa, you're going to get all the big boards on one side of the wall and all the cut boards on the other side of the wall. So you'd have a line down the entire part one side of the wall, and it's going to not look patterned and it's not going to look correct. So I'll show you how this goes together. Like I said, you're going to want your level. These boards are never 100% square. This is why you use a level. They're not 100% square. They're not 100% totally flat either. So you just kind of have to, work it. You might have to flip it over. It might fit better on the wall. But you just want to level it out. That's perfect right there. So this works nice. And there it is. So there's the board there. Now your next one. So I already have it pre-cut, but you're gonna take your board here. You're gonna have your pencil. You don't even really need a measuring tape. I mean, you can just throw this on right here, and at this point I can tell you exactly where it's going to hit the wall. Cut that portion off, which I've done, and then you're left with this. So level this up. It's perfect. So we got this put up. I just showed you how we kind of, how you want to snake down the entire wall. Another thing you'll probably want to know is when you get down to something like this, what do? Well, I will show you when I get to it, but essentially you're going to take this box out, this plate out, and the guts of this will come out. And there's two tabs on the top and the bottom. What you're going to want to do is overlay the wood. You're going to have to cut this out, of the wood. But you want to, have your wood about right here and right here. So when you put the tabs on, the tabs will actually sit flush on top of that wood. Then when you put your faceplate on, it'll all look flush and flat with the wall. You will need longer screws, because these screws, obviously you're adding about 1/4 of an inch, so they will need to be long enough to hit this back screw plate back here. The other thing is I did the wall, did the cut. I had a slant in this room. Hopefully for your sake you will not have to worry about that. But what I did is I made a cardboard stencil, and I cut it, and I used that stencil to create the line on every one of those boards. So if you have a slant in your roof, you want to make sure there's a complete cut. What would happen is, say if you just cut the very top off your board. If you just cut the top off your board, instead of making sure the cut was right here, so this entire piece plumbs up to the ceiling. If you did not do that, you just cut the top off, well, now there's going to be a gap, a triangle gap here, and where it doesn't completely, there's a space that it's going to show where there's not coverage on the wall. So that's a little pro tip for you. But other than that, you just got to be making sure all you're level. Those first couple boards are so important because it basically determines how well your wall is going to be coming down. And if you got to make adjustments in the board and kind of twerk them one way or the other, that's completely fine, and whatever. So you're going to see gaps in the wall, like I mentioned. You can see into the wall right here. Some of these boards just do not plumb up, and that's how it's supposed to operate. But it still looks good, right? You're going to notice it, but that gives it character, and that's the whole point of this project. And it's easy. So this product, and I think it's only strictly Home Depot, hence the Home Depot signs on it. But I don't think any other home improvement company has these. So big shout out to Weathered Wall Boards. They do a great job, make a great product. It's all made here in the United States. So check it out, and then I will update you on when I finish this bad boy. Talk to you later. Bye. Right. So this is my little cutting station. You just need really 2 sawhorses. I have another level up here to make my marks. As you see upstairs, I kind of, just eyed it to where that other board needed to be backed up on. Make a line, come down here, draw a line where my cut line is, and then this will be discarded. So sometimes you have to run back and forth and cut something more than once. Unfortunately, I mark this a little off, and I have to shave about this much off of it. But you want one of these. I'm doing with a circ saw. The best probably tool to use for this is a miter saw or drop arm saw, but this will work. I mean, I've done 2 walls using a circ saw and it works fine. But you definitely want some eye protection, because about the first time you forget, these thin board will just splinter off and smack you in the face, and then you won't forget these anymore. So there it is. We'll go upstairs and drop it in. Okay, as promised, I was going to show you how to do this wall mount here. So this is where the fun begins. All right. So you got your board. Now in this scenario, I'm going to basically just eye this and mark out where the box is. So I think that's where we'll start. You want to probably at first take less out. You take too much out, then you ruin the board. So just kind of be conservative. So we'll get this cut out downstairs, and I'll bring it up and see if it fits. Okay, so we got this off. Now to affix these to the wall, or to this base plate back here, the screw goes through here and into this screw right there, that notch out. So we cut this. There you go. Now these tabs are supposed to sit on this thing as we discussed. Now you can tell I didn't take enough out of there, so I'm gonna have to go back and recut that so a screw can go in there and go into that back plate. So just wanted to show you that. Stay tuned. All right, here was the finished product here. So you see I had to notch that out, and now this little tab will go right there. And then when we put the switch plate on, screws into there, and it's flush and nice up against that wall. There you go. Alright, just wanted to show you the finished room. So I did the weatherboards whitewash from Home Depot, and I did it for our nursery, for our little boy. So here it is. So I think the wall came out pretty awesome. It was easy to put up. These boards are really light, so really goes on the wall nice, and it's nice and secure on that wall. I got the chandelier put in, got all the decorations up, got a little moose and bear up there. So there it is. Obviously, you don't have to put it in a nursery, or I think this would look awesome really in any room. But hope you enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer them. Later.